All right, we're back with our 268 XP Marketplace buy. It's finally thawing out outside, so it's a little easier to wash parts. Preparing your saw for a water hose. A few things I like to do. You'll see here on this exhaust outlet, I went ahead and popped it out, and I put a piece of duct tape in there where your spark arrestor would normally be to help keep water out of that muffler. On the other side, I shoved a rag down here into the intake, I guess you would call that, right above the throat of the carburetor to help seal that out. Also, where this air box seals down on here, there's a piece of tape where the air goes in just to help keep water out of there. So with that latched onto there, with our exhaust plugged up, we're really plugging off anything that we don't want to get water in there. We'll still want to pop this muffler off and make sure it's good and dry once we get done, but that'll keep a bunch of water from getting down into our crankcase. If we did get a bunch of water in our crankcase, then we'd want to make sure to flush that out thoroughly and, you know, maybe get some oil in there or run the saw enough to make sure that we're not going to get any rust or corrosion happening down in there. We'd want to do that pretty quickly. So I'm also going to pop this side cover off and, you know, so we can get in there and clean it. This thing's pretty nasty, which is not a big surprise. There's the inside of our clutch cover. The bar's in really nice shape. And then let's play a little game today. Here's the chain that's on this saw. Looks like an Oregon LPX. What do you think we're going to do with this chain? Leave a comment below. At the end of the video, we'll see if you're right. Step one, cleaning these saws up, is typically just a bar wrench or a screwdriver and just scraping the layers and layers and layers of buildup away. Once we get through those big thick layers piled on, then we can attack the residue with our degreaser mixture and our water hose. Next step, we've got a regular garden sprayer here. This is Simple Green and water solution. We're just soaking everything down good. I'll tell you right now, this beats you're wearing your trigger finger out with a spray bottle of Simple Green. Makes things easier, especially when you're putting this much solution out. Really soak everything down. We really need this stuff to be soaking in good to do its job. Just like that. If you watched our short a little while back, same basic tools apply. Big scrub brush, little green Scotch-Brite pad. Just be careful to be gentle with that. You don't want to scratch these nice plastics up. Agitate everything around, soak it with a little more degreaser, and then we're going to be ready for a good thorough rinse with that water hose. Really get in there, clean out your cylinder fins, and any buildup up against your cylinder. You don't want your saw wearing a winter coat in the middle of July. Clean those rails out really well. Clean your oil ports out really well. All right, how about that? It's a lot better. Obviously, it's not perfect. If you do tear these things all the way down, clean every single part individually, submerge it down in scrub water or parts washing solvent and scrub it, you can get it perfect. This is the kind of cleanup for a saw that you're going to use. So you get the important parts clean, everything can function the way it should, cylinder fins are cleaned out, everything's pretty well degreased. Not to mention you probably took a pound of crud out of your saw, which is nice. So we'll go ahead and pop our little protective pieces out of here real quick. Notice we didn't really get in here. Let me get my air gun. We'll clean this up real quick. Our little piece of t-shirt out of here that was keeping our water out of our throat of our carburetor there. Then we'll peel back our tape that was also helping to divert that water away from our throat of our carburetor. Go ahead and place our air filter back in its home. Clip it up. And for now, that part of our saw is buttoned up. Get our Torx out here. We'll go ahead and pop our deflector off and get this piece of tape out. And we did exceptionally well just with that piece of tape clamped on there. Somehow we managed to keep all the water out of there. Pop our deflector back on here with our spark arrestor back in place under it. It's very common for people, and sometimes we do it here too, to get rid of these spark arrestors, but we really don't have a reason to do that on this saw, at least at this time. Maybe in the future we'll fool around with that, but we just want a nice OEM 268 XP right now. Really only one way to clean under these clutches. That looks nice. Sprocket's a little warm, not terrible. We'll clean out this clutch drum real good with a rag. And you all remember in our first startups of this 268, our clutch was dragging a little bit. Don't forget to grease your darn sprocket bearings. And I don't have on hand any fresh large spline rim sprockets, so we'll pop this old Oregon back in place for now. There we go, line all that up. Oh, that's right, clutch. Well, I did a little digging. These old one-piece clutch springs, they are floating around on eBay for about $10, new old stock. Now, I shopped around a little bit, almost ordered one, but instead found that you could buy an updated unit OEM with the newer style springs that seem a little more robust for about $30 new. So instead of spending $10 on that old clutch spring, we're just going to go ahead and update the unit to this newer OEM Husqvarna clutch. We will keep this one on the shelf because one day, if that's the only thing that's not 100% original on this saw, maybe we'll just pop it back on there. But for the most part, I like a saw that I can use. So we're going to pop that new unit on there. Now, one thing I don't think I mentioned in any of the videos yet is our fuel vent on this saw was leaking a little bit when we turned it on its side. I did break down and ordered some, I know, aftermarket fuel vents to put in there, but I just reached in there to pull this one out and it was a little on the loose side, so I gave it a couple turns in there and it seems like it may be sealing now. So hopefully that's the case and this will remain an all OEM saw instead of having a Chinese fuel vent in it. Got excited and popped our air dam back on while you all weren't watching. Sorry about that. Pretty excited to get this rig back together. I will point out that this old rope's in pretty rough shape. And remember, our recoil was a little on the tight side. We'll take this apart and clean it out good, lube it up a little, but I don't have a new piece of rope this size at the moment. So I'm gonna pick that up. We'll make that another job for another day. Always check your gas when you give one the water hose treatment like that. If you don't know what water looks like in your gas, that's what it looks like. Hugs the bottom like that. So yeah, leaky fuel vent definitely let some gas in there, but that's okay. Quick update, still leaking, so we're gonna pop a fuel vent in it real quick. Update, couldn't bring myself to do it, so we put the OEM vent back in there. I popped a little O-ring down here on the bottom because it was leaking around it. It wasn't leaking through it. And these aftermarket vents, super easy to blow both directions through. So I really don't have a lot of faith that that was going to work properly. Oh, by the way, pop the screw out and then one on the other side, and your case can move up out of the way, give you enough access to that fuel vent. I'm not sure if we remember from the introduction of this saw, but man, the O-rings on those caps look terrible. Somehow they weren't leaking, which I don't expect that would have lasted long. I am going to try aftermarket fuel and gas caps on this one. They actually look to be pretty okay quality at first glance, so we'll give them a shot. If they turn out to be garbage, then, well, it only takes a minute to pop new OEM caps in there. Back on the cap subject, I know what you're thinking. Why not put an O-ring on it? Well, you tell me where I can find these O-rings less than $5 a piece, and I'll do that. Because if an O-ring is $5 and an entire brand new OEM cap is $8, I'm going to put a whole cap on it. If you remember our first inspection on the saw, we noticed the throttle wasn't opening all the way, so get a good angle here. Just the slightest tweak on our linkage should take care of that. Looking a little better. Pop a little bit of gas back in here. We'll find out if that little O-ring in there did the trick or not real quick. Oh, definitely not. I can't get this cap back in here fast enough. Oh yeah, it's pouring. Gotta love that. Well, that was a fiasco that I've just got to share with you all. So you watched me pour gas in it. Oh no, fuel vent's leaking. Pop gas cap on it. Turned it over, went ahead, went to pop out the fuel vent, and only half of it came out. Stem's still left in there, but I couldn't do anything with it no matter how I turned it. It was pouring gas everywhere, so I wound up real quick cleaning out my jar to get all that water out of it so I could dump my fuel out. Went to pop our new aftermarket gas cap out of there. Wouldn't you know it, our little keeper fell off down in the tank, so it's down in here now. So I don't know, strike one against the aftermarket fuel cap, but whatever, we'll see. I'm gonna fiddle with this for a minute. I'll be back with you. Well, long story short, I don't have a ton of faith that these aftermarket units are gonna do a good job. I don't know if you can see down in there, but they don't have much of an element at all. So I just don't see how they could prevent that fuel from coming out of there. We'll see. I popped one in there. Our OEM one is kind of in pieces at this point, but that's the way she goes sometimes. I remember it wasn't too awful long ago, I had a Husky, I think it was in the 50 series, with this style fuel vent that pops in from the other side that gave me some fits. And I really don't remember whether I wound up coating the outside of it with an RTV before inserting it and then letting it set for a day or two before putting fuel in it, or if I popped some kind of seal on there. So it seems like if you go read around the forums, all the Husky guys, they do one or the other. They either pop some kind of O-ring seal on there, or they put RTV on them. So I put that one in dry. We'll see what happens, just because I want to run this thing for you all here in a minute. I don't want to wait any longer. So we might pop that out and give it a little bit more attention later. But for right now, it has an aftermarket fuel vent in it. So fuel vent, fuel caps. That's the total sum currently of our aftermarket parts. So I think we're doing pretty good. All right, update. It's not even slowing the fuel down, but it is coming from around the vent, not through the vent, because it's got this stem that goes up to the other side of the tank. So when you lay the saw on its side, if it's spewing out, then it's got to be coming from around it. So we're going to have to take that back out of there, get that good clean and dry. We'll treat that with a little bit of sealant, put it in there and let it set up good. But for right now, I'm going to leave fuel in it. It's just going to be a little bit of a mess, but that's okay, because we want to hear this thing purr here in a minute. We'll go ahead and pop our top cover back on for right now. And here's your last chance to guess. Remember that old chain? What are we going to do with it? Comment now if you haven't yet. Speaking of chain, shouldn't these have a bar plate on them? I might have to do a little digging and find the old IPLs, see if they show a bar plate for that. I feel like it probably should have, but it does have a bumper down here, so maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. Yes, buddy. So I'd say we've got some life left in that chain. If you commented below that we're going to sharpen it, gold star for you. That chain is getting toward the end of its life, but there's still good usable life in it. Man, I just love a chain when it gets worn down like that. They just cut the best. As long as they're properly sharpened and your depth gauges are adjusted, that chain will cut wonderfully. So, no reason to replace that chain yet in my book, unless somebody else is buying your chains. We pay for our own chains here, so we're gonna run it. That's all looking good. We did grease our sprocket tip, so that's good to go. Of course, if you didn't know, these Oregon bars, they do have a little grease port right here. You saw us a minute ago pump some grease in there, so that's good. Helps them last. Looking forward to cutting with this thing some. I'm gonna pop the bar cover on it here, but we haven't checked the oiler on this saw yet. So I did put a little bar oil in it now, and we're going to fire it up, validate our nice new clutch is working as it should, and validate that we are pumping bar oil. So just going to run it for a minute, and then we'll get back and talk about it. Oh yeah, one more thing. Remember, I was so excited about our chain brake being intact on this one? Yeah, brake band's busted, so we're gonna have to see if we can find one of those. that doesn't get you fired up, then you must not have smell of gram. Because man, that musky old 2-stroke salt's been sitting forever, finally coming back to life, burning some of that carbon out of it. Man, I love that smell, don't you? Definitely oiling well, no issues there. So we'll need to see if we can source a brake band somewhere. That might be a challenge for this one, I'm not sure yet, we'll see. And we're going to pop this fuel vent out, reseal that. Otherwise, I think that this saw is ready to go do some work, and I am very excited about it. I don't know about you. So thanks for stopping by. I tried to do this video a little bit different. I tried to kind of cut out some of the extra, only show you the meat and potatoes, so to speak. So if you like the way I did that, make sure to let me know. Drop a comment below. Any suggestions you have, then drop them down there as well. I'm not sure if you noticed or not, but this is a very new channel. I am very new to this YouTube stuff. I just decided to start sharing some of my chainsaw adventures with you. So if you're one of those few followers that I have, then I would love to hear from you about what you would like to see this channel grow into. Do you like this old chainsaw, clean it up, bring it back to life content? Do you like simple repairs? Let me know what you enjoy the most and what you want to see more of. So until next time, get out there and throw some chips.